advise there are lots of smiling faces in this room and all over the world. Over.
Jurassic Quest, colossal, fantastic, dinosaurs is Jurassic Quest, colossal, fantastic.
Inside of your vehicle is where we keep our Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus was a predator from the very beginning of the Jurassic period, around 200 million years ago. Now, a lot of people have ideas of Dilophosaurus spitting poison or venom or acid, and a lot of the pictures and toys show them with a big frill around their neck. Well, unfortunately, the movies that this idea comes from used what we call artistic license, which is just a fancy way of saying they just plain made it up.
Who can name the dinosaur here covered in plates? If you said Stegosaurus, you're right. Stegosaurus is a Jurassic plant eater whose back, neck, and tail were covered in bony plates. Stegosaurus had a special weapon. Along its tail, it had a set of spikes called a thagomizer that it would use to defend itself from predators. And the predator it had to worry about the most was Allosaurus. T-Rex isn't the only scary meat-eating dinosaur we have here at Jurassic Quest. Allosaurus was one of the larger predators around in the late Jurassic. The little guys in the scene are called guanlong. They're an early member of the Coelosaur family that lived in what is now China. The Coelosaur family was made up of mostly small predators, but as time went by, some Coelosaurs eventually became a bit bigger. Specifically,
the big, long-necked dinosaur in this scene is Apatosaurus. Apatosaurus is what we call a sauropod, or a long-necked dinosaur. Sauropods were the biggest animals to ever walk on Earth. In order to get that big, sauropods had to eat all the time. To eat even more, these long-necked giants didn't even waste time chewing, but swallowed the leaves from trees whole. But they had a special trick to help them digest their food. Sauropods would sometimes crane their long necks down to the ground and swallow small stones. Those rocks would help them grind up their food once it was inside.
The duck-billed dinosaur you see is what we call an iguanodon, and it's one of the first dinosaurs to be discovered and named. Some of you might have already guessed that iguanodon means iguana tooth. When iguanodon was discovered in England, no one had ever even heard of dinosaurs yet. The animal it's next to is Baryonyx. Baryonyx was a carnivore, and specifically, it ate fish. We know that it ate fish because when the first Baryonyx skeleton was found in England in the 1980s, it had fossilized fish bones and fish scales inside of its belly, along with a few bones from a young iguanodon.
Dino you see here is Eutyrannus, the feathered tyrant. Eutyrannus is part of the Tyrannosauridae family. That means it's a relative of the T-Rex. Eutyrannus lived in the Liaoning province of China. What makes Eutyrannus special is that it is the largest dinosaur that we know of with feathers. We know that Eutyrannus had feathers because of where and when it lived. About 120 million years ago, a volcanic eruption blanketed much of the Liaoning province with hot ash, like what happened at Pompeii thousands of years ago. While that was devastating to the animals at that time, it's great for paleontologists because it preserved soft tissue, in some cases including feathers.
Hi, it's Park Ranger Marty again, and welcome to the early Cretaceous North America. The furry guy is Utahraptor. Now let's see, can anyone guess where Utahraptor was discovered? That's right, Cincinnati. Just kidding, folks. Utahraptor was found in Utah. Utahraptor is the largest known member of the raptor family. Now behind him is a predator named Ceyx. Ceyx was a massive predator that lived at the end of the early Cretaceous. Very little is known about Ceyx due to how recent of a discovery it is, but it is thought to be a member of the Allosauridae group that lived into the early Cretaceous. Seats lived in North America at about the same time as some members of the Tyrannosaur family, but those tyrannosaurs didn't get any larger than about the size of a Great Dane, because the alpha predator role had already been filled by Seats. It wasn't until Seats went extinct that larger tyrannosaurs like Tyrannosaurus rex took the stage.
In the early Cretaceous period. The dinosaur standing here is one that I bet a lot of you know. Can you guess what it is? Did you say Spinosaurus? You got it! Spinosaurus is one of the largest carnivores to ever walk the earth. But it mostly ate fish. We know that because Spinosaurus's teeth have been found embedded in fossilized bones of a large fish.
Despite what you may have seen in movies, Velociraptor is not 6 feet tall, but actually about 3 feet tall, 6 feet long, and about 20 to 30 pounds. Just think of an extra scary turkey. We also know that at least one Velociraptor attacked a Protoceratops, the next dinosaur in this scene. This is thanks to the fossil of a Velociraptor and Protoceratops found, who died still locked in combat. The Protoceratops broke the Velociraptor's arm with its powerful beak, moments before they were both buried in sand by a landslide.
And finally, here at my favorite dinosaur, the Triceratops. The cool thing about Triceratops... No! The last T-Rex is in with the Triceratops' pen, and he's eating the Triceratops! Oh no, folks, this is terrible! That's my favorite Triceratops! Lisa, we've located the missing T-Rex! Lisa, do you copy? Oh no, this is terrible! Well, since we're here, Triceratops is an herbivore from the end of the Cretaceous period. That's the same time and place that T-Rex lived. Now, Triceratops means three-horned face for pretty obvious reasons. Scientists used to think that Triceratops used the frill on the back of its head to defend its neck from T-Rex. That seems like it would make a lot of sense, but there's actually evidence that when T-Rex did eat Triceratops, he would sometimes bite down on that frill and pull the Triceratops' head right off. That meant it was less of a shield and more of a pull tab on my favorite dinosaur. But that crest was still there for some reason, most likely a display to attract mates or to scare away rival dinosaurs. Wait, I think that T-Rex is starting to notice your vehicle. Better make like a tree and bark out of here. Well, the good news is, at least we're not going to see anything scarier or with a bigger bite.
And now for something scarier with an even bigger bite. Megalodon! Megalodon is the largest shark to ever swim the seas.
Thanks for coming to Jurassic Quest. Security Liaison Lisa, signing out.
Jurassic Quest. Colossal, fantastic. Dinosaurs is Jurassic Quest. Colossal, fantastic.
Thank you for tuning in to the Lunaz. Keep on the lookout for our next video. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. Peace.